In today's video, I'll be running through exactly how to transition your e-commerce business over to Google Analytics 4, its features, and hopefully show that all the emails you've been getting from Google actually aren't that scary. GA4 is here, and it's time to jump on the bandwagon and get to grips with it if you haven't already. Now, this might sound like worrying stuff, especially if you haven't started to prepare, but with some planning and a little effort, the transition to GA4 shouldn't be too painful and will actually give you some exciting new capabilities when it comes to your attribution and insights once you're used to its full potential. If you're new here, my name's Daryl, and at my agency Big Flare, not only do we use Google Ads to grow sales for our clients, but we also support them with everything they need in order to make sure their tracking and infrastructure is exactly where it needs to be to run campaigns to their full potential. So join me while I show you exactly what you need to know to move over to GA4 as painlessly as possible. So before we run into the technical bits, let's gather some context. What the hell is GA4 and why do I need to know about it? GA4 is the next evolution of Google Analytics, Google's attribution platform, which most e-commerce business owners will have touched at some point or another in order to work out how people behave on their site and where their sales are coming from. This was usually done as part of Google's Universal Analytics tool, but as of July 2023, this is gone for good, and GA4 is going to be everyone's main tool for tracking and attribution. Well, GA4 actually comes with some huge improvements that a lot of people have been asking for, which, in my opinion, start to move Google Analytics to somewhere that's a bit more comparable to other attribution platforms, and a lot of these features are perfect for e-commerce businesses. For example, if you've been running ads for a while, you've probably heard about the deprecation of third-party cookies, which are a huge part of how we track website performance and activity. With these disappearing in the not-too-distant future, GA4 provides a form of cookieless tracking. These include behavioral and conversion modeling, and a bunch of other privacy-based features, which essentially future-proof you and your ads. It's just one of the reasons getting on top of the transition is so worthwhile. Beyond that, GA4 promises to offer direct integrations into other media platforms like Meta or TikTok to help drive sales in your store, as well as different forms of predictive analytics, which should make it easier to optimize both your website and campaigns without as much complicated modeling. As with all Google products, I fully expect them to improve it over time as well, adding new products and fixing any quirks from its launch. So GA4 is absolutely something to get familiar with, even if you're just dipping your toe into digital marketing. So we know why having access to GA4 is important, but what do you actually need to do next? Luckily, for most e-commerce stores, this isn't going to be too tricky of a process. Unless you've opted out, Google will already have set up a GA4 property for you. After all, it wants as many people over to the new platform as possible. Theoretically, all you should have to do is log on and start tweaking your settings, which I'll go into in just a second. Now, if for some reason Google hasn't made one for you, you'll need to set one up. Look up GA4 Setup Assistant and everything you need should pop up. So, you've logged on to GA4. What's next? Google's advice says to consider the structure of your GA4 account, but as long as you only have one website you're selling from, this shouldn't be too strenuous. You'll have one account which holds your data, and then one property within that which is unique to your website. Within that account, unless you have an app, you'll just have one data stream from your website to GA4. So, onto the settings. We're going to get slightly more technical here, but stick with me and we'll do this step by step. The next step, unless Google's managed to transfer your tags from Universal Analytics, is to link your Shopify account to your website. This should only take a few minutes. Just sign into your Shopify account, and then on the left-hand side, come over to Apps, search for Google, and it should auto-complete for you. So Google and YouTube, pull up this app, and what you want to first do is connect your Google account. So go through the steps there. Alright, so now I've connected my Google account, and then it should give you a little pop-up here saying, are you looking to connect Google Analytics 4? If you don't see the pop-up there, then you might see like a window down here where you can select your property. And let's click Get Started. So once you click that, you're going to have a drop down here, and what you want to do is select, you can see I've got quite a few Google Analytics properties here, but you want to, if you've got multiple properties, you need to find the property that you're interested in connecting. And what's the property for our dummy site? It's in here somewhere. There's our... So then you click into the correct Google Analytics property, click connect, and you should be good to go at that point. Once you've done this, your Shopify data should be flowing through GA4 and a lot of heavy lifting is done. The only other thing that's worth keeping in mind is making sure you're migrating any old events and conversions from Universal Analytics, and again, this is light work. Jump into Google Analytics and in the property column, select the Google Analytics 4 property that currently collects data for your website. In the property column, click Setup Assistant. Under Property Settings, go to Setup Conversions and click the Actions icon. Click Import from Universal Analytics. If you're new to analytics and need to set up conversion actions from scratch, go to Events in the property column and follow the prompts from there. In terms of the basics of getting set up with GA4, you're pretty much there. This next part though is for if you're running Google Ads, and it's really important if you want to get the most out of your campaigns from July onwards. We need to manually link Google Ads and GA4, but you're already in the right place. So in your Google Analytics 4 account, just make sure you are in the admin section and on the setup assistant if you're not there already. And from the setup assistant, you want to come down to link Google Ads over here. And in this case, this is a fresh dummy account, so I've got the option to link Google Ads for the first time. You might see an option to import your existing Google Ads link from Universal Analytics. So if you see that option, go for that option right there. In this case, in a fresh account, what we're going to see is link to Google Ads for the first time. And you want to find this option and click there. Click there to go for the next step and click Manage Google Ads Links. From this screen, you want to click Link, and you can follow these prompts here to choose the correct Google Ads account that you want to link through. Click through all the prompts that come up, review and submit. You should get a confirmation message after you have done that to confirm that this has all been done properly. And at this point, you are done. Now your Google Ads account and GA4 are linked, you can start to explore some of the features of the tool. I'd recommend exporting some audiences over to Google Ads, and it's worth keeping in mind Google is going to deduplicate users who are in both the Universal Analytics and Google Analytics 4 audiences. Make sure to go to the campaign or ad group where you deployed Universal Analytics audiences. Open the Audiences section, add the Google Analytics 4 audiences to the targeting options in addition to the Universal Analytics audiences. After that, just start exploring the platform. Google has a load of resources on GA4 which are well worth exploring to make sure you're getting the most out of GA4 and its partnership with Google Ads. I'm mindful I've got a bit technical in this video, so if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll be happy to help you out.